And right there in that moment, you have this very raw, very real feeling about what you want to do to ISIS. You want to get rid of them. You want to terminate them. You want you want them to be ended. And that resonates with me because I can only imagine what it was like to be sitting there talking to little children, speaking to a family, minding their own business, who were then blown up by a landmine. But then there's also something else that resonates with me is you have this very, very tender moment later that night where you're angry, you're upset, and you take some time and you open up God's word, and immediately, without trying to, you turn to that passage where it says, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." And then you go back to one of your team members and you essentially apologize for the way that you responded there. Now, first of all, I think that takes Jesus. If anybody doesn't believe in miracles that's watching or listening, that response takes the strength of Christ and God inside of you to make that response, because I can only imagine how frustrated and angry you must feel trying to help these people and then them just to be senselessly killed or attacked like that. Um, but that does bring me to this question of kind of something that you address in the film a little bit, and I've heard you answer it multiple different times, and I just love your answer to it. So I'd love for you to share it here with us and kind of what your stance is on being an armed combatant, or at least an armed relief worker, and when force is necessary. Kind of that balance, even maybe this is a crude way to say it, that balance between being a soldier and a missionary, because that's two thoughts that people can't really hold together in their head. And since the whole basis of this podcast is to really help people think about challenging things and things that help us deepen our faith and just deepen our intellectual process, how have you been able to balance those two worlds? And maybe they're not as separate as we think they are, but the two worlds of being a missionary and being a soldier.
First, I'd like to say what you mentioned. When that little girl was killed, which I had a connection with that little girl, it was like my daughter was killed. And I
Mm,
thought, I can't live with myself if I don't do something about this.
yeah.
And it's justice to go after these guys and hunt them down and kill them until I can't. Isn't that right? And it felt right. And I prayed, God, show me the truth of what happened today. And I was sure, along with sharing the love of Jesus and giving out food and medicine, we're going to kill as many ISIS as we can. Not because we're Superman, not because we're righteous, because it's so wrong. But the next morning, when I opened my Kindle about 5:30 in the morning before we started off with the Iraqi army again, 3 times in a row at random, I kept getting the same message.
Right.
Revenge belongs to God. It doesn't say there's no revenge. It says revenge belongs to God. And right then I realized I was trying to take revenge. I said, Jesus, forgive me. I give up revenge. And it was like a 2,000-pound weight lifted off my shoulder. And what you just said was only Jesus could do it. I didn't even know I had that weight on me. I thought it was justice. But what's the difference between revenge and justice? Is love. Because love not only frees you from all that hate that comes with revenge and the spiritual damage that comes to you from revenge, it gives a chance for the perpetrator or the person that hurt you to change. And if they don't, they don't. That's their business. But then when you decide about the punishment or your reaction, it's also bound up in what's best for them, not just what's best for me, what's best for them, because I want you to change. And I think at that point, when you've been hurt badly, for me anyways, only God could change my heart.
Yeah.
I was done. But he did it. He did it. And that's one reason I follow him, because he's supernatural. It's not just a philosophy or psychology. It's something, it's spiritual, it's bigger. And I need to keep asking for that help. So we Freedom Rangers go to the front lines where we're invited, and sometimes find ourselves face to face with the enemy who's shooting at us. And we have a rule. We don't arm our teams. You can get your own guns. Like the Middle East, almost everybody has a weapon. They're all over the place. In Burma, very many people don't, because there's not that many available. But we're not pacifists. We're also not there to fight. And we tell people it's up to you. You and God have to decide if you're going to fight or not. But you're not to go attack the enemy. If the enemy attacks the people you're serving and they can't run, you can't leave them. And at that moment, you got to decide, I'm not going to leave him, I'm going to die with him, or I'm going to fight back. That's up to you. You got to pray. And in my own experience, every situation is different. And, just this morning, I was praying to God about my own. I joined the army for a reason. I liked it. I like violence. I like things that go boom. And But I just pray this morning, Lord, let me have no bloodlust. Let me have no love of violence. Take it, I give it away. I don't want that. I want to serve you first all the time, no matter what is going on.
Catch new episodes of Indie Thinker with Reed Uberman for free right now by going to YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Simply type Indie Thinker with Reed Uberman in the search bar and click on my face. Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to stay informed when a new episode drops.